Why stars on $1 bills are so valuable. Did you know some $1 bills have a star at the end of the serial number, making it more rare and valuable? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about these rare $1 bills with stars on them, what to look for, how to keep them safe, and how to maximize the value if you want to sell one of these bills. My name is James, and I've helped collectors buy and sell millions in rare collectibles. All of the sale prices in this video, guys, are backed by real data from top auction houses like Heritage. So let's just go ahead and hop right into this video with this first $1 bill from 1988. Now this is a $1 bill that is in pretty bad condition. You can see there's a lot of staining and dirt going on with this bill. It was graded by a grading company called PMG at a very fine 25. So it's a lower graded condition bill. Now really quickly, it's important to give you the definition of what a star note actually is. So star notes are replacements. That means when the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, or the BEP, makes a mistake printing a bill, they don't just trash the serial number and move on. They print a replacement note with a star next to the serial number. And that's exactly what happened on this bill. But there's another layer about why this $1 bill was able to sell for $480, and here it is. So this is what we call a web note, and web notes were printed from the late 80s to the early 90s, and essentially, to keep it very brief, the US wanted to be a more efficient printing process. So what they did was they took a chapter out of the book from newspapers. So with newspaper printing, it is done on one continual roll versus normal printing of paper money is done sheet by sheet, which is a more cumbersome process and not as fast and efficient. So they were using this printing process called a web press machine, and it was an experimental trial that they used where it was fed on one continual roll. Now, long story short, this roll actually ended up being more costly and less efficient overall because of all the mistakes. Now, the quickest way to tell if you have one of these notes, because I know that's what you're really most interested in, is, hey, how do I know if I have a really rare $1 bill? You're going to want to look on the back of the bill. Now, the back plate number is typically located on the bottom right-hand side of the 1, but on these web notes, the back plate number is located above the E, right in the center area there. So if you have one of these bills and it's a star note, you have a very rare bill. Even in this low of a grade, this one sold for $480. Now this next bill sold for $3,840, and the first thing you'll see is that this bill is in much better condition. There's no coincidence here that I also wanted to show this bill because it is from the series 1988A, which is the same exact series as the previous note. But as you can see, the back plate number on this one is where it should typically be. So this is not a web note, but why would this $1 bill sell for so much more money than the previous bill? All right, I'm going to show you a few things here. So first of all, the front plate position on this bill, I want you to look in two areas. First of all, at the top left area, you're going to see a letter plus a number, and then in the bottom right, you're going to see a letter plus a number, and then before that, you'll see a small FW. That FW tells you where the bill was located and printed. So if your banknote has an FW on it like this one, that means this bill was printed at the Fort Worth, Texas facility in the United States. And if your bill does not have an FW like that, it means your bill was printed at the Washington, D.C. printing facility. There's only two places in the whole U.S. that create paper money, and those are the two. Now, why did the bill sell for $3,840? I'm going to tell you right now, and stay tuned if you want to know exactly how to sell a bill like this. All right, so I want you to pay attention. You see the star at the end of the serial number. That's great. That means it's a replacement note. There was an error or a damaged bill and they replaced it with this star note. That's great. All right, now look very closely at the serial numbers. This is what we call a mismatched serial number error. The top right serial number is G004, etc., and then the bottom left one is G114. This is a huge mistake, and a collector is going to pay a huge premium for an error like this on a $1 bill. Combine that with the high grade from PMG at a 66 EPQ allowed this bill to sell for $3,840. All right, here are two $1 bills that sold for a total of $6,600. So I want to tell you really quickly about condition. These bills are a 40 and a 25. Now the grading scale goes from 1 all the way to 70. The grades 60 to 70 are considered to be uncirculated, and that means the bills have no folds on them whatsoever. The higher the grade, the more valuable your bill is going to be. Now, why are these two bills so so rare and valuable. So remember before I was telling you about bills being printed in 2 locations in the US? You either have Fort Worth, Texas or Washington, D.C. We're going to zoom in here. I'm going to show you the front bottom right hand side of the bill. The bottom one's going to say FW. The top one will have nothing. That means the top bill is printed at Washington, D.C. The bottom bill is printed at Fort Worth, Texas. Stay with me here, guys. This is the important part. You really want to be looking for bills from the series of 2013 that are from the Federal Reserve District of New York. And the way you tell that is by looking at the start of the serial number or that large letter on the left-hand side, which is the district letter. So you see here it says B for New York. The last thing you need to know and look for on these bills is the star at the end of the serial number. So it needs to be a 2013 $1 bill from the New York district, which is a B, and be a star note. So a long story short, what happened here was that these 2 printing facilities accidentally printed the same serial number range. Now that is a huge mistake and it pretty much never happens. As you can see, the top bill and the bottom bill have identical serial numbers. This should never happen. Now this is what you really should consider doing. If you have one of these bills alone, they're worth anywhere between $10 to $30, which is a lot of money for a $1 bill. But if you're able to find the identical pair of your $1 bill, that is where the big money comes in. And this is how you do it, guys. There are people on eBay right now selling these $1 bills. And the cool thing is about this specific series is you can search for a specific serial number. So what we recommend doing, depending on your situation, is going on eBay and searching for the bill that you have by typing in 2013 $1 bill and then the serial number. If someone is selling the $1 bill that you have with the same serial number, we highly recommend buying it. Why? Because then you'll be able to sell the pair for a lot more money. Now, another thing you could do is just list a bunch of the ones that you have on eBay and sell them for a good profit. But there may be someone out there that has the identical bill you have, and then they're able to sell the bills for a lot more. So hopefully that's not too long-winded. Essentially what you need is a 2013 $1 bill star note from the New York district. That is a really rare bill, and these 2 bills sold for $6,600. $6,600 for this 1995 $1 bill star note. So I'll be brief here. This is what we call a defacing roller imprint. If you ever come across a bill with a very vibrant red rejection mark like this, you are in for a treat because this is a very rare rejection mark from the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Essentially, they wanted to reject this bill, but it accidentally got out into the public. $6,600 it sold for. $4,320 this $1 bill sold for. I'm going to show you what we would do if we came across one of these bills and we didn't know much about paper money. A lot of you guys and gals listening may be on the newer side or you're more advanced, but either way, it is important to know how to sell a bill like this. Now, what we recommend doing is contacting a few trustworthy coin dealers in your area, specifically paper money experts would be ideal, and getting their opinion on how much your bill is worth. Now, there's a few options you have when it comes to selling. If you're trying to sell really quickly, the best way would be going to a coin shop, getting paid out pretty quickly. You're going to get paid about 10 to 30% less because these coin shops are companies and they have to pay their employees. Now, if you want to do a little bit more work, what you can do is contact a company like Heritage Auctions and see if it's worth sending to them to sell on their auction. Now, the last method, which can be a little bit more risky, but there's more reward with it, is selling it on a platform like eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Now, eBay is great because there is a buyer and seller protection when it comes to facilitating on this specific platform. When it comes to Facebook Marketplace, it really is the Wild West, and for newcomers, we recommend against it because there are a lot of scams on there, whereas on eBay, there's a lot more buyer and seller protection there. Now, if you have not done so already, we have a completely free coin and currency ebook that goes over some of the basic fundamentals. You can get that down below. But why did this bill sell for $4,320? Well, it's quite simple actually. You can see the condition is not good, and what actually happened here is it was slightly retouched. By that, I mean the condition was pretty bad, and someone got a black pen and kind of added a bit of ink on Washington's portrait, and then also on the back left and right area, you can see the green is a bit more vibrant. Someone had a green pen and just added a bit more ink there to make the bill look nicer than it actually is. Either way, first thing is the fact that it's a star note, and the second thing, which really added a lot of value here, is the fact that it is a solid number 1 serial number. Now, solid number 1 serial numbers are very, very rare. This one is from 2003, and the condition is not that good, which means this was more than likely what we call a pocket piece. piece. Now, pocket pieces are banknotes that are stored in someone's pocket as a display item, and they will from time to time take it out and show their friends, say, hey, check out this really cool bill that I have. It's more of like a bragging or a cool show off type thing. The reality is, while it is a cool thing to do, if you don't care about money, that's fine, or if you just have tons of it, the reality is if this bill was in better condition, it would have sold for a lot more money than $4,320 bucks. $24,000 for this 1988 $1 bill. So once again, this is a web note. You can see by looking at the backplate number is right above the large letter E there. That is the tell sign to look for a web note. Now also, why would a web note like this sell for $24,000? It only graded by PCGS at a 40 PPQ. PPQ just stands for premium paper quality, and 40 means there's going to be about 3 or 4 folds on this bill. So the condition could be better. This is the kicker, guys. This is a star note on the left-hand side there. You can see the serial number ends with a star, but at the top right serial number, you will see that there is not a star at the end of the serial number. So this is a mismatched serial number error. Specifically, the suffix of the serial number, which is the last digit, is mismatched. The top right one has an L, the bottom left one has a star. This bill sold for $24,000. Now, we do hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and we will see you in the next one.